McGregor Jr. not gone, as the Blue Jays lost 2-1 in their one of the 3 games that I'm going to do a recap on today. Welcome back to the Blue Jays recap. I am your host Evan, and we are back with another game recap. There was a doubleheader and 1 extra game, so we're going to have to do a 3-game recap because that extra game was yesterday at weird time, 1 o'clock, so it was hard to do a recap. But we are back today. I'm going to break down all 3 of these games, and I'm going to be back doing the regular schedule on Wednesday, when the Blue Jays play the LA Angels of Anaheim. But in that game that I was just talking about, where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a ball that was so close to going out of the ballpark, as the Blue Jays lost 2-1 in the second game of the doubleheader. I actually went to that game, and if you did too, leave a like down below. It's too bad that they lost, because that game was really, really close for the Jays. As Jose Berrios had a really strong outing with his 5 innings, only letting up 1 run on that home run to Alex Verdugo. And the only problem that the Blue Jays had was their bullpen. Only one bullpen guy in particular, Adam Cimber. Cimber had some really good outings before today's, but he really just didn't do much in that game, as he let up that 1 run on a single to Aruz, getting in Franchy Cordero, as there was a man starting at second base because of the new rules. I think it should be taken away. I thought it was good for that COVID season, but now I just think, I don't know why they're not taking it away. Cimber let up that, and then the Jays couldn't score. But the inning before, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a ball right to the fence that could have gone out. It just needed maybe 5 more feet, and it would have gone out on the ballpark. It was really, really close, but I feel like the Red Sox just played better. They got more hits than us, 6-8, and less strikeouts, 7-12. And I can't say that Tanner Hoach had a bad outing. He went 3.5 innings, and didn't get the win though, because Matt Barnes, he got it with a 6-3, his 6th win of the season. But Hoach, he's that rookie. He doesn't have that much experience, but he pitched a really good game with 6 strikeouts, only 3 hits let up, and only 1 earned run. And Berrios, again, a really good outing too. 6 innings, only 5 hits, only 1 run, and 6 strikeouts. But Richards and Hand had a good outing, but Cimber did not, and picked up his first loss of the season. A lot of the Blue Jays in that game just played terrible, as George Springer, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Marcus Semien, Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Randall Grichuk, Derek Valera, and Reese McGuire, literally almost the full Blue Jays lineup, only picked up 0 or 1 hits. Only Vladdy, Semien, Bichette, and Valera had hits, but I need to give it to Corey Dickerson with his 2 hits in that game. I'm going to give my player of the game to Jose Berrios in this game, because he had a really good pitching outing, only his 2nd outing as a Blue Jay, and the Jays just really didn't help him on the offensive side. Dickerson did have 1 intentional walk and 1 double, and then his single, but he didn't provide much else, and I feel like Berrios had a really good day. And the Jays really didn't shut down the Red Sox, with Verdugo going 3 for 4 with a home run, and Bogaerts and Devers picking up a hit too, as they just had more hits, more runs, less strikeouts. To recap that game, it was really just a quiet game. One of the really good plays, though, I need to shout out, is from Reese McGuire, where he had some heads up. There was a strikeout to, who was it again? Christian Vasquez. And McGuire so he struck out, and the ball, he just threw all the way over to third base, as they got the guy out trying to tag or trying to steal, which really didn't make sense because there was now 2 outs because of the strikeout, and it was a really easy pickoff that McGuire pulled off. But I really don't know what was going through his head there. But yeah. Bichette also had a really good play as he gets Hunter Renfroe probably from an RBI and a single as he really helps Barrios on that play. But that was it for the game. The Jays lost. It was just really not a very good game for them as they let up that run in the top of the 8th inning. One game though that is so exciting, that 9-8 win against the Boston Red Sox. George Springer in the bottom of the 8th inning had a go-ahead 3-run home run to put them up 9-8, and the final score was 9-8. As the Jays had a really good last few innings there. Ryu, terrible outing. I just need to address that. 7 earned runs, only in 3.5 innings, letting up 10 hits and making his ERA all the way up to a 362. But their bullpen did a good job on not letting up more runs, as only Kendrick Sneed, the MLB debut for him, let up 1 run, but did get 2 strikeouts. Also, Patrick Murphy, Rafael Dolis, and Jordan Romano picked up, Dolis picked up the win, and Romano picked up the save as his 10th save of the season, and the Blue Jays win. The Jays really did a lot. I think their bullpen was a really big help, getting those 6 strikeouts in their outings, and Ryu had that really awful outing. But I need to give the player of the game to George Springer as he saved the game for them. He also had a 2-for-4 day with 4 runs that he got in. If you watch the highlights or anything, you will literally see Springer cross the plate 4 times for the Jays, as he also had 3 RBIs in that game and a home run. And I need to give it to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who had another home run in that game, going 2-for-4 in that game with 2 runs and 2 RBIs, driving in George Springer on his home run. And he is now at 35 home runs, as he is still in second place behind Shohei Ohtani. Hopefully he can get on Shohei Ohtani, as he is going to be playing in this Angels series that they will play on Tuesday. Then Simeon did not have a good day, like many of his others. He had an 0-for-3 day, but Teoscar Hernandez had a 3-for-4 day with 2 RBIs. This Jays team really were playing well in that game for the good players, I can say. Dickerson had a 1-for-3 day, and Valera had a 2-for-4 day. Valera is really trying to state his spot on this Blue Jays lineup, and he has done a pretty good job at that, getting those hits and the times he's got on base, the time that he got in a run for the Jays, which can really help them a lot. And I think right now, as Biggio is gone, he has really helped out that team at third base. But in the later parts of the game, it was all Jordan Romano in that last inning, as he had a 1-2-3 day with 2 strikeouts, and he wasn't doing his squatting. I don't know if that helped, but he didn't let up any runs, and he had 2 strikeouts, so he played really well. But I need to give it to George Springer with a go-ahead home run all the way, and he pimped that home run, walking a bit, doing a bit of celebrations off of his friend Matt Barnes, who picked up a blown save, as they were roommates in college, but Springer got the last laugh against him. In his 2 times facing him, he has 2 home runs. That's some bragging rights. But they did not shut down JD Martinez, giving him a 5-for-4 day with 3 RBIs, and that hit in the first parts of the game, where he actually had 2 hits off of Ryu, driving in all 3 RBIs, as he had a good day. And Kevin Plawecki also having a good day at the plate for the Red Sox. But they really didn't shut down many other guys, like Bobby Dalbec and Jarren Duran. Also had 2-for-4 days, as well as Devers and Bogaerts. But they did a pretty good job at keeping them down at the end of the game, like I said. And that really turned it for the Blue Jays as they turned the game around. It was really that fifth inning when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit that home run where the momentum just shifted to the Blue Jays side. As the Jays put it 7-4, as Vladdy hit his home run. But to start off the game, it was really not to the Blue Jays' favor, as they were lopsided and the game was turned way to the Red Sox side. And to start the game, it was Corey Dickerson picking up an RBI single, driving in Bo Bichette, but that was it for the Blue Jays until the fifth inning. As JD Martinez, Kevin Plawecki, Enrique Hernandez, Kevin Plawecki again, all got RBIs off of Hyun-Jin Ryu until Teoscar Hernandez had an RBI single. But JD Martinez also had an RBI single, as well as Kevin Plawecki. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had his 2-run homer, shifted the momentum dramatically. Dahlbeck scored the final run for the Red Sox as the Jays just kept on piling. As Semien had a sacrifice fly, then Teoscar had a 2-run RBI single, and then to finish it off, George Springer had his go-ahead 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning as Jordan Romano pitched an amazing 1-2-3 inning to finish the game. Romano, 2 strikeouts in his outing with his 1 inning pitched, played an amazing day. I just need to give my player of the game to George Springer because he had a much better game than most other people with his home run. I do need to give it to Teoscar Hernandez, who had a 3-for-4 day, though. He's now moved his batting average to .298, as Vladdy's just keeps dropping. It's at a .218 now. Now let's do a quick recap of the last game. The first game of the doubleheader. So the first game of the doubleheader was a really, really quiet day, as it was a pitcher's duel. It was Robbie Ray, who pitched another amazing game. He did not pick up the win, though, as, I think the bullpen did. I'm not sure, but Ray did have a really, really good outing. Romano picked up the win because Semien scored in the bottom of the inning. But Ray went 6 innings, had 5 strikeouts, and only let up 2 hits. But who had a better day was Nick Pivetta for the Red Sox. 5 strikeouts with only 1 hit in his 6 innings. But Matt Barnes couldn't finish off the game. His second blown save of the series, giving Marcus Semien a home run in the bottom of the 7th inning to walk it off for the Blue Jays. I think I need to give it to Semien. He had a 2-for-4 day as well. The Jays only had 3 hits as a team, as the Red Sox only had 2. But no one really had a good day. It was really no offense until that last inning. And, it was a really short and kind of boring game if you went to the first one. But the Jays got the win, and that was it. They're going to be playing a doubleheader tonight. It's going to be Ross Stripling versus Jay Suarez, as Stripling has his 19 games pitched, 5-6 record with a 4.33 ERA, but Suarez is a bit better with a 5-4 record, 14 games pitched, has a 3.60 ERA, but only has 47 strikeouts. He's not a big strikeout pitcher and can't really strike out many guys, which is good for the Jays, because if they can get bat on ball, they're going to be driving it a while. The only people that they need to watch out really for is Shohei Ohtani and David Fletcher, because Mike Trout is out, as they are going to be Ohtani struck out last night to finish the Dodgers game, which hopefully he can carry into this series. But the one thing I need to mention, though, is the first game is going to be the Jays home, because they didn't play a game in Buffalo because of a rain out, and they just scheduled to the Jays, the home team. I don't know. We'll see. But they do need to watch out for Raisel Iglesias, that really good bullpen arm, who has 24 saves in the year and has 7 wins, surprisingly, as a bullpen arm, which shows that the team isn't that good at getting wins. But that's going to be our first game, and then the second game is going to be at 10:07 start. It's Ross Stripling pitching the second game. The first game is going to be Steven Matz. Matz had a really good start against the Royals, where he went 6 innings, had 8 strikeouts, and let up 2 runs. But he's sitting at 99 strikeouts. C. Rodriguez only has 27. Again, not a big strikeout team, only a 2-run record with 14 games pitched. I think the Blue Jays are going to sweep this doubleheader because the pitching and strikeout rates are so low, and I think the Jays can really take over on those sides. The only person they really need to watch out is Ohtani and maybe Fletcher, but I think they can carry on. If you like this recap, like, subscribe, and having an amazing day. Bye.